Hey everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs. We get your daily fix of Blue Blanc Rouge. It is the pregame show. Not sure what game number it is, to be honest with you. It is the first meeting of the season between the Boston Bruins and the Montreal Canadiens. Should be a really fun game. Hopefully, I don't know. With the state of the Habs, we're probably going to get our asses kicked unless they come up with a game like they did on Saturday against the Leafs, which could happen. It would be wonderful. So I have some game day news for you. I have a game preview. I have the lineups, and I also have the Guess the Score contest. Guess the score of the game and the first goal scorer of the game. You can pick that guy from either team and be the first one in the chat with that guess, and you win the cash prize directly into your bank account via Interac. And I usually don't tell you how much that is. It's just a $10 prize, but it is $10 for a guess of a game. Let's see what else we got. I think there's nothing else to add to that. Let's see who's here, and we'll go from there. Habs Guru. Hey, Guru. How you doing, man? 7-3 Boston. The Rat. I can't do that. You need Matt to do that. The Rat scores first. That's obviously Marchand. Daryl Adams. Hey, Daryl. 4-1 Bruins. Pasternak first goal. Awesome. And he says, Rick, and now Caulfield's out. Do you think the Habs have a better chance now to get first overall again? Or do you think Chicago will be the team in the last place? I don't think it... It all depends on the teams below them. I guess that's what I'll say. And when you say Chicago, it's the Ducks right now. The Jackets have been there. It's who knows who it's going to be. Do I think it does increase? They have a better chance now. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, still, it's a toss up. There's so many teams below them, and they're all bad. Kenny B, 6-2 Bruins. You got to give me that goal scorer too, buddy. Where I'll hear it says hi all in here in penalty box. 3 goals by Boston first period. David, hey David, I think Boston 7-2. Bergeron first goal. I'm just check to see if that was important. That was not important. Hey Grimes, not much up. Hoping for a fair game tonight, but I doubt it. That's another point, right? Who knows? From the refs or like who the hell knows anymore on that side. Filibuster, how you doing, man? David says, I'm hearing Habs are desperate to trade Andy. I'm not hearing that, but I don't hear everything. But 5.5 million 4-year, and this season, 2 first rounders is just too dear for any team. I don't think the Habs would be asking 2 first rounders. You got to check where you're getting that in from. I have not heard any of this. And it sounds a little ridiculous to me personally. So you got to check with the source of where you're getting information from. It's really important to check the source of where you're getting info from. For everybody, that's me especially. I make a mistake here and there, yes. But I really do check where the source is. And if I'm not sure of it and I tell you about it, I'll tell you that I don't really know about the source very well. But it's very, very, very important because I really haven't heard any of that. Does that mean that it's not true? It doesn't mean that. I'm just saying that. I don't know. Habs will ultra win 6-4. Who's not in a hospital bed? Susie, he's a safe bet. 6-4 Habs for Phil. Suzuki with the first goal. Yeah, it's pretty much like that. Who's not injured? David says first round. I'm not sure what you said there. Oh, I see what you're saying. So yeah, a first round pick is probably what they'd be asking. Is it too dear? I think that's the whole point, though, for Andy, is that they said it has to be an offer like to knock their socks off type thing. It's what's going to take. So is a team going to do that? Probably not. And the way Andy's playing lately, and considering all the injuries, I doubt Andy's on the block right now. Kind of doubt it. Stan the man. 6-1 Boston. Pasternak first goal. Phil says also Andy for 2 first. No, he didn't mean it, so we're not going to go to that. But I know that that's kind of what the asking price is, right? I think for Andy is a first and probably a prospect. I don't know if it has to be a former first, but probably a prospect of some sort. Hey Gabriel, how you doing, man? See, Gabriel, they gave you a birthday present after all, even when you didn't think they were. Wasn't the same one you were hoping for, but they gave you a birthday present after all. You got to say it, and it was a fantastic game. And I'm really glad for on your part that overall the night wasn't fully ruined. So it's good to see. Hey, Sammy McLean, how you doing? Gabriel's got 6-0 Boston. Marchand first goal. I'll just say this about the score. It's not going to be Allmark in net. It is going to be Swayman. So I just think on that part, maybe Montreal gets a goal or two, but it's Swayman, not Allmark. There's, Gabriel, it's like they saying of the silver lining, right? That's the silver lining. You got the silver lining was they won, and it was a fantastic game and all that. You didn't get to see Caulfield. It's kind of, that's life. That's exactly what life's all about. You're young. It's a lesson to learn. It's not always going to work out like that, but sometimes it does. Sammy McLean has 6-3 Habs. That's Pasternak with the first one. Monty is in net. I know you might have seen some of the practice lineup, and it had Primo. Listen, I freaked out when I saw that. It was, but no, they're saying Monty's in net. So Monty's in net, so nothing to worry there. I'm going to give you guys my guess to score guess for that. I'm going to actually change it because I had it at 5-1 when I thought it was Allmark. I'm going to have 5-2 for Boston. I'm also going with Pasta with the first goal. Pasternak gets the first goal. He likes to score. I mean, Marchand too. I don't know. I'm not ever going to give Marchand nothing. So I'll give it to Pasta, and we'll go with that. JFed's got 5-1 Boston. That's what I had, but I changed it to 5-2 because it's Swayman in net, and he's got Marchand with the first one. There you go. There, we're up to date so far. So what do we got here? I'm going to go with some game day news. Let's go with some game day news. So if you're wondering what Cole Caulfield's injury is, it's a torn labrum in his right shoulder. Same injury that Josh Anderson had, and that he's come back stronger than before. He says he's come back stronger than before in his left shoulder. It's a 6-month recovery, which should get him back at full practice or at full training around July, sometime in July, from the look of it. So that's the news on Cole's injury. It's a long recovery, so I don't really know what they were thinking about with the Cole thing, but they had to at some point shut him down to get the operation and to for that length. So there was going to be a point in time where he was going to have to be shut down. I don't know what the thinking was. I really don't know. All right. I think I have this twice. Or I might. Sean Monahan has been back at practice since Saturday in a non-contact jersey. Apparently, Jake Allen's back at practice again. Now, the non-contact jersey is not necessary for that. I don't know when he's been back at practice. I only know that he was he was in the morning skate. But Monahan since Saturday. You got to think that Monahan probably soon is going to have that non-contact jersey removed, and then anytime after that he'll be back in the lineup. Okay, I have this here, something for you guys. Let me see, where am I? So the CHL top prospect game, I think was happened recently. I don't know when it happened. Players in that game were asked, who is the most difficult opponent to play against? So it was probably last year this happened. Here's the list of responses. These are the top five responses. 2 Habs in there. First one is Logan Stankhoven, who we saw in the World Junior Championship. 5 guys said him. Arbor Jacki, also 5 guys. So Arbor Jacki, the not feared, but hardest to play against. Wyatt Johnson, who I don't know. Braden Schneider, I kind of know who is. And Caden Gooley. 2 guys said Caden Gooley. So you got Arbor Jacki, Caden Gooley, hard guys to play against. So it was nice to see that. The sad news here. Bruce Boudreau, who I never had any particular love for or whatever, or even hate for, nothing. But, he was fired by, I wrote here, the monsters that run the Van Crappy Canucks. Maybe that's what we'll start calling them. The Van Crappy Canucks, the Vancouver Canucks. He got fired yesterday or the day before. They finally did it. Had them, I guess Sunday, they had the balls to finally do it. Dragged it out. It was horrible what they did to Boudreau. Rick Tocchet replaced him. You got to ask, why would Rick Tocchet want to take a job where the guys replacing was treated so bad? It's not that the guy was bad, but the guy was treated so bad. You want to take a job from people like that? Okay, so it tells you either that Tocchet desperate to get back in because he's a shitty coach, and he's probably also a shitty person. I don't know this. I don't know him, but I'm going to assume these things by his actions. Where else am I? Let me finish this up. The Bruins are 37-5-4 going into this game. They beat Montreal's all-time best record of 68-12. So in the 70s, they went 60 wins, 8 losses, and 12 ties. There's no difference between an overtime loss and a tie because you tied to get there. They have to go 21-3-8 in the next 34 games to tie it. The Habs did it in an 80-game season. So now here's the question, because if they do that, that there's going to be out there that the Bruins tied the all-time, but they didn't. But they won't have. And if they do that, it's a lie. And here's why. How many of, right now, these 37 wins, how many of them were in overtime? So if any of those 37 wins are overtime wins, then they don't have it because Montreal's 60 wins were in regulation. If it tied, it was a tie. So I wonder what's going to happen with that if they do come close. Still going to be a great season, not taking anything away from Boston. I'd like to, but I'm not going to. It's just that to make sure when you hear that it's not true. Because there was, like I said, there was no regular season overtime in the 70s. Last piece I got here is Lane Hudson officially listed as being 5'10" and 148 pounds. So that means he's probably 5'9". Now, somebody, I think it was Trig Wilson, he's the writer for the Hockey Writers. I follow him on Twitter. He put it out there that he saw that it was officially 5'11", 161. I kind of doubt that because someone posted, I didn't copy it down. From the NHL, I think it's 5'10", which, they usually put that up a little bit. So you got to figure he's 5'9", but that means he's 5'9". He grew and he might hit 5'10". If he does, for sure, I don't think there's a question whether he'll make it to the NHL. It's just he's got to put some weight on. That's something he's going to have to do, muscle. And I don't think it's a question. If he's done that, he's going to make it to the NHL. That's all I got for that. We got a couple of minutes to see what you guys are saying. Let me see now. Where was I? David says, my guy, Jeff Gordon, who was who I wanted for Habs before St. Louis, though no hate on St. Louis. Okay, but that's 2 different jobs, though. No, I don't get what you're saying. Justin, hey, Justin, how you doing, man? I'm doing good. I'm over COVID now, feeling really good. It's just in my voice. Maybe a little bit in my nose. I get blocked up a little bit. But other than that, I'm over to COVID. I'm negative now. Jason says 4-2 Bruins. Pasta, with the first goal. A lot of guys I took Pasternak, so a lot of guys did. Dom Lalone, how you doing, man? 3-2 Bruins at overtime. Overtime doesn't really matter, just so you know, if it's 3-2 in regulation. You got to give me a first goal scorer for the game if you want to win the prize. Guru says, unless there's changes in Vancouver's management, there's no reason why they won't treat Tocchet the same way. Of course they're going to treat Tocchet the same way. Yeah, I mean, just Vancouver, the management sucks. I don't put this on any of the players when I call it Van Crappy Canucks. It's not on the players. It's definitely on the management. And there's an interesting thing I didn't get, because it was video. And I didn't get to put it here. Bruce Boudreau's first NHL goal that he scored when he was a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and this was against the Detroit Red Wings, was against, guess who would you think it was against? And I wonder if it has anything to do with this situation. It was against Jim Rutherford. And I wonder, considering all of this, I wonder if there's not a little bit of that in Jim Rutherford holding a grudge like that his whole life. And it's possible it's the first goal for this guy. It was against, maybe he held a grudge. He got a chance to be crappy to this guy. There's something, I wouldn't put it past that there's something to that. David says at this point, talking in it for the money. Could be. Vancouver. Well, if you want to do that, you sound too much like a Filipino, like Vancouver. So just do Vancouver. Is a gross city. Boston was very enjoyable when I visited. I don't know. I've never been to Vancouver, so I couldn't tell you right now. Wow, Justin bought a house. Congrats, Justin. That's a huge step, man. Congrats. All the best. All the best. Well, the Bruins have 4 OT losses, so they got to, they're going to have to do a lot of work to get over that. And I'm not saying anybody's claiming this because nobody is, but if they do hit that number where they're 68 and 12, if that happens, someone's going to say just as good as the Habs, but it's not. Dom, you got Pitlick there for the first goal. Awesome, man. Stan the man can't type. What did you do? Everything was fine. Yeah, no, I didn't. It wins, you mean? Yeah, wins, not losses. You're right, wins. I figured it out, and you figured it out. Hey, Rob, how you doing, man? When Habs beat Leafs other night was so sweet, especially without Cole. It sure as hell was. It was a great game to boot, right? It wasn't just like, they beat the Leafs. Yeah, it was just an awesome win. The way they won, that you didn't hear from Matthews or Marner or Tavares in the game, really, right? Nylander. It was great. What a great win. All right, we're going to get to this game preview that I keep talking about. Here we go. The game is, and light them up if you got them. Join me. The 37-5-4 Boston Bruins in town to take on our Montreal Canadiens, who are 20-24-3. The way you can watch this game. Start time is 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. As usual during the week, TSN2 in English, RDS in French, and in the Bruins region, NESN, New England Sports Network, I imagine. Season series, so there's tonight's game, March 23rd in Boston, and April 13th, I believe, last game of the season, I do believe, back here in Montreal. And believe it or not, that's it, 3 games. That's it. If they're taking a game away from one of the teams in our division, why the Bruins? Makes no sense. Last 10 record, the Bruins are 9-1-0 on a 5-game winning streak. So they're due for a loss. I mean, look, it's clear that they're playing in a way that they're going to lose tonight. Montreal's 5-5-0, and you can see Montreal. Look, they won their last game. It's clear they're on a streak, and they're coming at Boston. Yeah, sure. Home and away record: Boston away from the from Boston Gardens, Boston 15-4-1, and Montreal at home 11-12-0. And what in that comparison doesn't give you confidence that Montreal will be the better team? Nothing. Scoring chances 4%, 44.6% for Montreal, 26th, 54.7% for the Bruins, fourth in the league. Goals per game 2.57 for Montreal, 29th, 3.80 for the Bruins, first overall in the league. They're just first in the league. That's nothing. Goals against per game 3.64 for Montreal, 28th, 2.02 for the Bruins. Again, just the first in the league. So what? Power play percentage 15 big percentage for 15% for Montreal. 31st in the league, 27% for the Bruins. That's nothing. It's a good power play of the Bruins. Third in the league. PK percentage, 74% for Montreal, 26th. And to go along with that great power play, their PK is 87.1%. So, and that's first. So, Montreal not scoring except for Allmark's not in nets, and hopefully Swayman, it'll make a difference. Probably not. Last year, head-to-head, 0-3-1, Montreal went, and they went 4-0-0 against us. They're going to continue that with 3-0-0 this year. Face-offs. They're second in the league with a 55.9% at the dot. Montreal is 18th in the league at 49.6% at the dot. Shots for and again. Shots on goal per game, they're 33.6 shots on goal. And Montreal gets 28. And shots allowed, 28.9 for the Bruins and 34 for Montreal. Goalies tonight. Jeremy Swayman, 11-3-3, 226 goals against, and a 916 save percentage with one shutout. Yeah, those are horrible numbers, man. We're going to be no problem. Monty's in nets tonight for us. 10-8-2, 315 goals against, and a 911 save percentage. No shutouts. Players to watch over the last 5 games. For points, Pasternak with 7 for them. Pitlick with 4 for us. Goals, Pasty also. Why do I want to call him Pasty? Pasta with 4 goals. And Anderson with 3 for Montreal. Assists, Krejci with 6, and Dvorak with 3 for Montreal, and plus minus Krejci with 9, and Anderson with plus 5 for Montreal. Leaders in goals, Pasternak with 36, Caulfield, who everyone knows not in the game, 26. Points, Pasternak 65, Nick Suzuki 38. Time on ice, Hampus Lindholm 23-37 for them, and Mike Matheson 23-03 for us. And in wins, Allmark has 25 wins, and Allen has 10 for us. Bottom 10 in the league. No Bruins. You can see there's no Bruins there. Philadelphia, Detroit, Ottawa, all ahead of Montreal. And Vancouver, or Van Crappy, San Jose, Arizona, Chicago, Columbus, and then Anaheim on the bottom, all below Montreal. Florida is too far up for me to catch. Refs tonight, Chris Schlenker. Last season, Montreal went 1-3 when he was reffing, and the Bruins 2-0. But I mean, we were crappy. It's not a horrible record. And the year before, we were 5-4. So they don't seem to have a bias, these guys with Montreal. Mark Jonette, we went 1-3 under him last season, but 7-9 the season before. So, I don't think there's it's a night where I'm going to say I don't think the refs are biased here, but doesn't mean there's not going to be shitty calls. Top 5 for the Bruins in scoring. Pasternak has 36 goals, 29 assists, 65 points. The Rat, Marchand, 15 goals, 29 assists, 44 points. Patrice Bergeron, 17 goals, 20 assists, 37 points. David Krejci, 11 goals, 26 assists for 37 points. And Hampus Lindholm, the defenseman, 6 goals, 25 assists, 31 points. And they've all got the green number there with the plus, where Montreal has none of that. For Montreal, Nick Suzuki, 16 goals, 22 assists, 38 points. Cole Caulfield, who is not in the game, 26 goals, 10 assists, 36 points. Kirby Dach, who has missed the last couple of practices but played the last game, even though we know he took a shot in the knee, a Gudis slap shot in the knee, and the suspicion is he's playing hurt. He's got 8 goals, 21 assists for 29 points. Dvorak, 7 goals, 13 assists, 20 points. And finally, someone jumped over Sean Monahan, Josh Anderson, 14 goals, 3 assists, 17 points. And there you go. That's the scoring. For the lines, Bergeron centers Marchand and Craig Smith. Krejci in between Zaka and Pasternak. Charlie Coyle in between Taylor Hall and Frederick. Kupanen, I guess that's no, or Kopanen in between Foligno and Greer. I never pronounce this guy's name right. Grzilczyk and McAvoy first pair, Lindholm and Carlo second pair, Forbert and Clifton third pair, Swayman starting. Look at their injured list. 2 names on it. Christ. Habs, Suzuki in between Pitlick and Anderson. Dach centering Hoffman and Ylönen. How do you pronounce it now? Ylönen? Dvorak in between Harvey Pinard and Dadonov. Belzile and Pizzetta will be joined on the wing or the center by a rotating somebody. I don't know who it'll be. Everybody will take their turn. Matheson, Savard, first pair, or listed here anyways, first pair. Edmondson, Barron. Next up, Harris, Kovacevic. Next up, and Jack-I will do the same thing, pair up with whoever's available. And Monty is in net. And look at our injured list. It is incredibly big. That's it. There you go. That's it. I got one more thing to announce, and this is kind of a big thing for the channel and for me and for Pete as well. On Thursday, the Habs will be playing the Detroit Red Wings, and Pete and I will be debuting our new post-game show that will happen twice a month, at least to start with anyways. It's a tough schedule, but we're going to do this twice a month. And Pete and I, it's called Life After Habs. We're going to talk about the game. We're going to talk about hockey. And we're going to talk about whatever the hell else you want that has to do with life, because it's called Life After Habs. There you go. So that'll start Thursday after the Detroit game, probably at 10 o'clock. So don't know exactly how long after the Detroit game, but we'll get it in. So hopefully you guys will, some of you guys will join us for that. And that's all I got. My voice has got 3 hours to go, but hey, got about 10 more minutes, and then I got to run for 20, and then we'll be back with a live hangout. So talk about whatever you want. Let's see what you guys have said. And if you give me a second, I will find. There I am. Rob's got 3-1 Habs. Suzuki with the first goal. Wow, Rob is definitely very optimistic tonight. Very, very. That's very optimistic, Rob. I really do. I envy your guys' optimism who are taking the Habs tonight, but I just can't do that. If you missed it from the beginning, earlier anyways, I have 5-2 Boston. Pasternak with the first goal. David's, I'm rooting for all young Habs to not tank and have the mentality of winning at all costs. The top 10 are all blue chippers. This is what I'm going to say to you. If you're worried about them having a losing attitude, that win on Saturday doesn't happen. You look at that win on Saturday and go, yeah, the boys are fine. Right? So I'm not worried about a losing culture here. St. Louis is not trying. I just heard him interviewed, or one of his pregame or one of his pressers there. No, that's one of the things that they are working on is a winning culture, not a losing culture. And I think it shows in a game like the Toronto game. Having a new or two tonight for this game. I don't get you. Last week, the other night was so sweet. I'm not Wait, what are you saying? Having a beer, not new. Okay, having a beer or two tonight for this game. Gotcha now. Now it makes sense. Don't you hate that, whatever that is that does that? I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, I had my beer earlier. It's kicking in now. Dom Lalone. Holy crap, look at that Boston record. I know. But listen, Toronto, not that far behind Boston that, there was, and Montreal, look, they took them out. They just had to play the same kind of game. Doesn't mean they'll have exactly the same results, but they got to play that kind of game. Grimes, yeah. Boston is just by far, in a way, as much as I hate to say these words that are coming out of my mouth right now, the cream of the crop this year for the NHL. But look at it this way. More than likely, unless there's some kind of a real problem there in Boston, they're going to win the President's Trophy. That usually gives the seal of, yeah, you're not winning Stanley Cup. So I'm good with that. I'm really good with that. As far as for Toronto, well, we don't have to worry. Toronto will make it to the first round, and that'll be it right there. We know that. That's a given. Mary Jo says 4-3 Bruins. I think even that is optimistic, but, and Pasternak with the first goal. See, I mean, she's calling for the Bruins to win, and I think that 4-3 is optimistic in that I don't think Habs can get 3 goals. And I think only 4 for the Bruins tonight. But I thought that against Toronto, and, I was wrong. So Anderson was amazing against the Leafs, but then again, he's always great against them. This is true, actually. But I think Anderson's kind of stepping up here. I hope. Look, he's streaky. It could be that. He's on. I think he's stepping up a bit here. And, he's showing leadership and trying to fill in for guys that just aren't here. David says, Dom Gorton is the new head coach. Gorton is what? Where are you getting that from, David? I have no idea what you're talking about. Again, I want to say, I don't know what you're reading, but look who's writing it. You got to take, I don't know what you're reading. One thing I'm quite sure of, that what you're seeing as the head coach is Marty St. Louis. Grimes, we might not even have someone. I think Nick Suzuki will, but might not have anybody surpass those. Renegade Man, not 100%. That's not 100% true. Depends on the kind of moves they make. They acquire Horvat, stuff like that. I don't know. It should be their last, the window's closing. They might be able to prop it up a little bit, but you're right. It's basically closing. BL, hey BL, 5-2 Bruins with John Wensink getting the first goal. Now, before you ask about Matt, because you're going to, I'm not sure what he told me, but I think he said he was going to try to get up here for the game. I think. I'm not sure. Or they got the game showing in Boston, so he was going to go to that. I think that's what he told me. So I don't know. So don't ask, because I don't know. Grimes, can we not make Doc play injured? You'd think we're in a playoff spot, but playoff or not, never make someone play injured. It'll screw them long term. Well, okay, depends how you look at it. Depends on what the injury is. And for you to think that we're 40 odd games into the season and maybe everybody on that roster is already playing injured to some extent. Yeah, I mean, at this point in the season, most guys are banged up to some extent anyway. If you say don't let guys play injured, well, 10 games in, you're going to have nobody to play, So I'm going to just say I don't know what's going on with the Caulfield situation and what happened there. But I'm not going to be one of those guys jumping on everything that happens and nitpicking about every little thing until I know more. I'm not doing that. Phil says, oh, man, I had a buddy lived in Victoria. He called it Cracktoria. Yeah, I doubt that Pete's into that. So he probably doesn't know any of that stuff over there. I doubt. I mean, unless it's about tequila, I'm pretty sure Pete doesn't know anything about that. Wait, will I do it every? We'll do this every Thursday? No, I said twice a month. Will it be every Thursday? No, we're gonna pick games that make sense for both of us that we don't have plans or whatever. So might not be exactly, but it'll be twice a month. Read my lips. The old man forget what? The old man might forget that Habs traditionally play well against strong teams and poorly against weak teams. Yes, I haven't forgotten that at all. It's not that. Look at the lineup is decimated. That's what I'm talking about. If this was a full lineup and then okay, that's a different story. And it's the Bruins on top of that, but we're not in the playoffs. So, but our lineup is decimated. Wensink retired, yeah, a long time ago, and there was just something about Wensink on Twitter today or yesterday. That's funny you mentioned him. What time is it? Oh, I got a few more minutes. The Leafs were so disappointed after the loss to the Habs. Watch some TSN post game interviews; they were great. I love when that happens. I'll be happy if the Habs finish in the bottom three. They might not. I'm gonna go with 5. I'm gonna be happy bottom 5 because in the bottom 5 they can't get pushed back past 7. If they finish 6, 7, 8, they can get pushed back to, and then that takes them out of where those best guys are. And so that's what I'm looking at. And I'm really glad they did it organically. And there was no they did this and that and this and that to tank. So we'll see where they finish. They're going to finish where they finish. BL says report side of Long Island. Say Lou Lamoriello interested in adding Josh Anderson to maybe for Beauvillier. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard that one already earlier this season, didn't we? So I don't know. DL would need AA first on top of Bo for sure. Okay. Want to translate that for me? How do you figure out who won the contest? Very easy. I usually remember the names that are picked and who's not. So if a guy scores and I know he's not there, I don't have to check. But I just go back and look at the chat. I just have to watch the video again of this, and it replays the chat for me, and I can see who the guesses are. Usually, if there's a winner, usually is in the channel in the chat when the game is done, and so it's easy that way. What is the prize? $10 directly into your bank account via Interac. Justin wants to ask me a big question. Other than Bedard, who would you like to draft this year? As I always say, it's too far from the draft. I don't know everybody and everything yet about these guys. I don't usually do that, so I don't know. I can't answer that yet. Beauvillier is a figure skating. No, it's Beauvillier. Anthony Beauvillier. He's a Quebec player on the Islanders. Oh, well, Grimes, I'm sorry that you believe that. No, I don't believe Caulfield. They said he's been playing with it for a while. It's not from the beginning of the season. If you go back, and I had it loaded and I deleted it from here. December 12th, Calgary. Caulfield gets a hit from Trevor Lewis. And he goes down. It takes him a while to get up. I believe he leaves the game, doesn't come back. That is where I believe, and most people do believe, that's where he got hurt. That means 18 games. He was playing 18 games hurt. Might have the same thing. No, I don't. It's not the same thing. Dom, thank you very much. I don't do all that. I'm just gonna say thanks, Dom. I really appreciate that. Dom is going to get into the draw. I'm gonna have to do this soon too. I think into a draw. No, I just gave away something, so it's a little while yet. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. A giveaway. I always do a giveaway for people that give money to the channel. Every now and then I do a giveaway. Last one was a pennant I gave Izzy one. And if Izzy, if you're out there, you got to send me your address so I can send that to you. So I'm going to do another giveaway soon. I don't know exactly when, but Dom is going to be in there. So thank you, Dom. Appreciate that very much. It's been a while. It's like, once I feel like I forgot what to say. What was the hit? He got hit. It looked like initially on his left shoulder, but when I have the video, they slow-mo it, and you can see he gets hit kind of on both. So there's impact on the right shoulder. It's not as serious or as hard as on the left, but there was impact there, and I'm sure that's where the injury was. And if you go by what they're saying, it's been a little while, blah, blah, blah. It's December 12th. So it's 18 games. That's a lot of games, and it looks like that's when it happened. It's not from the beginning of the season, though. That was never said. Yeah, I played that, by the way. If you were watching the last game, I played that in that thing there. I'll try to remember to load it up for the live hangout. And if you ask me, I'll have it to show. Oh, I'm not saying it wasn't wrong. And I don't know what happened, and I don't know why they would have. I mean, it's a dumb thing. They shouldn't have been playing him for that much. I don't know why. I haven't heard the right explanation for me yet. So until I don't really want to go and say it's them, they did it, when I don't know who did it or whose decision it was yet. Hey Cam, how you doing, man? Let's go Bruins. Yeah, Cam is Matt's friend. He's a Bruins fan. It's fine, man. It's no problem. If Cole Caulfield didn't play those 18 games injured, would he still have the same season-ending surgery? Yeah, torn labrum is a torn labrum. Yeah, he played with a torn labrum. He didn't make it worse. They stopped him before he could. They felt he was getting close to that, and they shut him down. So no, if what I'm saying is not accurate, that hasn't come out yet. What's been said is that yeah, he hasn't made it worse, but they were starting to get worried that he would make it worse. At least his agent was. So yeah. Hey, right. I almost did it. Almost did it. I can't. No, I caught myself. Got to do this first. Bob Cannon in the room. Hey, Bob, how you doing, man? Welcome in. Yeah, I got to go now too. Hey, Doug, how you doing? And I got to run because I'm 3 minutes over when I got to do some things. Thanks everybody for being here. I'll be back in now 17 minutes for the hangout. I really got to run. So until then, stay safe. Peace out. Thanks for being here. Ciao, everybody. Go Habs, go. We're going to kick Boston's ass. I don't know. Maybe we will. Ciao, everybody.